All right, good morning, guys. Hopefully, you guys had a great weekend. Let's get started here. We last week on Friday, I had assigned these pages in the video, and then you're supposed to finish up these pages here. I'll show you the answers so you can check your work, as you should have got this done for 17-418 there on your own. And then we'll get right to work on to page 419 to 422. We'll do a little bit of that together. We'll review some concepts, and then that will be your assignment. So I'm not going to leave this up here for a long time. You can go ahead and pause the video, check your work. So let me refocus this. Okay, so there's page 417. Page 417. Here's page 418. Page 418. Okay, so if you have questions about that, then you can just come online and ask me. If you're like, why is this answer this? Well, how did I get this wrong? And you can't figure it out, then I'm happy to answer those questions. I'll be on today around noon. So sounds good. All right, let's get started here. Something to write with, and we'll get started here. All right, page 419. It starts out with the example. And that's what we'll go over here as this sets everything up as our review. So it says, Rachel is designing a newspaper ad. The ad will include a rectangular piece of art whose dimensions are 5/8 inch long and 1/2 inch wide. How many square inches of space will the art cover? Look at how you could look at how you could show your work using a unit square area model and an equation. Now, with this model, this whole thing is representing 1 inch, correct? 5/8 of an inch is going vertically. So from this point over, from the top all the way down, this whole entire space here that you can see that I'm minus the place I'm covered, that is 5/8 of an inch. If we look this way, that's 1/2 an inch. So there are 2 1/2 inch sections of this model, and there are 8 1/8 inch sections of this model, right? Now we're only using 1 of the halves, and we're only using 5 of the eighths. Okay. The question though is, what is the size of just one part of this? Well, if this is a half, these are halves, it means there's 2 rows, and these are eighths, that means there's 8 columns. Well, a 2x8 array is 16. So therefore, that section there is one part of 16. So we know our answer is going to be in the 16ths. As we talked about with our fractions, we multiply them by each other, that the denominator give us the total number of pieces in that array. Now, it may not be end up being the final answer, because we could always simplify it, but it will be a correct answer. Okay, just not maybe the most accurate simplified answer. So that's it. Now, how many of these are darkly shaded in? How many of these are overlapped? Right, remember, this would be 5/8 of a half, or this is half. This is half of the 5/8. Because if this is the 5/8, that's 1/2. This is the other half of the 5/8, right? So 1/2 of 5/8. Well, again, so we can look at this as there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them, right? So that would be 5/16, because each one is 16. So it would be 5 times 1/16. So I have 5 of them. That gives me my 5/16, right? Also, we look at this as when we multiply across here. We look up 5 times 1 is 5. 8 times 2 is 16. Is 16. There's our 5/16, right? Okay. What is the area of a rectangle with a length of 1/2 yard and a width of 11/6 yards? Write an equation that represents your solution. Show your work. Okay, so we could draw a model of this, but it's asking us to, does not ask us to do that. It's just asking us to write an equation to show this. So if I was writing an equation to show this, my equation would be 1/2 of 11/6, right? 1/2 of 11/6. Remember when we say the word of, we're multiplying. So 1/2 of 11/6, 1/2 times 11/6. Then the whole idea here is that this would end up being 1 times 11, 2 times 6. That gets me to 11/12. There you go. It's done. But why does this work? Well, I guess if we take this concept of something being broken into sixths, this is 6/6. So this would be 1 whole. This is 6/6. Okay. And so this 6/6, we need 11/6. That means I would then need to include more, wouldn't I? Well, 6/6, this is a whole. This is 6/6, right? So if I go ahead and included another section here, and this is 6/6 here too, okay? But we're only going to use this much. We're only going to use that much, and this is going to be 5/6 for a total of 11/6. Sorry, I don't have really space here. So this is this whole space is 11 out of 6, right? Well, we're going to cut this in half, right? Let me use a darker pen. We're going to cut this into halves here. This is 1/2, this is 1/2, and this is the half that we're looking at, right? Yep. Now the question is, what is the size of one? What is the size of one of these parts? Well, if you're like, well, there are so many here. There's a bunch of things. If you count up all of them, that's how many the total parts there's going to be. It's all got to be in relative to one whole. If this is 6/6, this is one whole. And here I have 12. I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Over here I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So parts of my whole, each size is a 12th of a whole, right? But how many are shaded though? Now the total number I have is different. So this is 1/12 times what? Well, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 1/12 times 11, or 11 times 1/12 is 11/12. And there's your evidence and proof why that answer works. Now, some kids get really confused when they set this up. You can leave a gap between them if that helps you see the difference between these whole parts. That's fine. It's up to you. I combine them. I use the two colors to combine them. But the idea is that I know that 6/6 is a whole, right? And if this is 11/6, this also could have been written as 1 5/6, right? This was written as a improper fraction because it's easier to multiply. So what's going to happen is if you have a mixed number and you don't want to have to draw everything and things like that, if you have a mixed number, we can just go ahead and convert those to improper fractions and then multiply. That's one strategy, okay? And it works really well. If you get an answer that's still an improper fraction, then we have to change it to a mixed number. Either way works. We should be getting much better and quicker at doing that. And so that will enable us to and allow us to do that much quicker, okay? All right. Let's go ahead and do one more. We'll do number 2. Then we'll do number 2 together. Then you on your own, you'll have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. All right. So let's go ahead and do number 2 together here. It says, Kwame is designing a poster that has an area of 1 square foot. He is going to paste a photo collage of a rectangular section of the poster that is 1/3 foot wide and 3/4 foot long. What part of a square foot will the photo collage cover? Show your work. Okay, so we know that his poster is going to be 1 foot, 1 square foot. That means we know that his poster is going to be 1 foot by 1 foot. Okay, so I'm just going to draw his poster right now. We know his poster is going to be 1 foot by 1 foot, right? So we know his poster is going to be a square, essentially, right? Now, he is going to paste a photo collage of a rectangular section of the poster that is 1/3 of a foot and 3/4 of a foot long. Okay, so again, this is a portion of it, right? Just one section. It's rectangular, so we know we have length and width, length times width. So if I go down and put these in here, we have 1/3. So I'm going to break this into thirds, roughly speaking. So 1/3, right? And then it said, and 3/4, right? So we're going to go break this into fourths. 1, 2, 3, and it's going to be 3/4. I'm going to use a different color so it's not as dark. So if this is 3/4, right? Okay. Okay, this overlapping section here is where our points are, right? This is where our value's at here. So if I write an equation, how I'm going to solve this, I'm multiplied 1/3 of 3/4, which is equal to 1 times 3 over 3 times 4, which is going to equal 3, right? 1, 2, 3 parts, right? 12ths, and the 12ths, the idea is that this is 12 because there's 1, 2, 3, 4 by 1, 2, 3. There's a total of 12 parts here, correct? Okay. Now, if you simplify this, you're going to see that this is going to equal 1/4. Okay. Also, if we looked at this, if I had oriented this slightly differently or whatever, the idea is if I take these 1, 2, 3 parts here, if I shade them in this way, 1, 2, 3. So if I just moved these 2 parts down here, you could clearly see 1 part out of 4 parts is shaded, right? So just proof that it is 1/4, that 3/12 is 1/4, right? So just more evidence there that will help you out, okay? All right. You should be hopefully good the rest of the way. I'll be on at noon today to help you guys out. Don't fall behind. Okay. If you didn't get your stuff done on Friday, you better get it done. Catch up. Yeah, I think that's it for the most part. Again, don't hesitate to ask questions. Email me. I mean, you can post comments in class in the Google Classroom if you want, but that's not the best place. But if that's all you can do, that's fine too. But jump on. I'll be on at noon, and we can talk math. Okay. Talk to you guys later. Bye bye.